I'm Claudine Wong, joining you from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm joined by Michael Jensen, who is the founder and the CEO of Labster, which is a virtual reality, very cool system that is set up for scientists, for future scientists, and is maybe now more relevant than ever. Uh, how are you? You're coming to us from Switzerland. How have things been going?
Doing great, actually. We've been working harder than ever, as you can probably imagine, here over the last couple of weeks, really helping so many teachers and students around the world getting access to the high quality learning that we provide. So exciting times, challenging times for sure, but we're at
Yes.
least happy and proud that we can help so many teachers and students at these times here.
So let's talk about this, because when you try to explain Labster to someone and say, I have this, and let me just say, I mean, we are understanding virtual learning and online learning in a whole new way. Anyone who was reluctant to do it before has no choice to do it now. But Labster, I heard you describe it as, a flight simulator for pilots, like equating that for students, which I thought was really interesting, because that's a great way for someone to visualize what exactly it can do for students. Tell me about Labster. This has been a project long in the making before we ever heard of COVID-19.
Yeah, no, and I think it's definitely the simplest way I can explain it. It's literally like a flight simulator for training pilots, only we're training the next generation of scientists and really not just training them, but also inspiring them and engaging them in the world of science. And I think what's really exciting about this virtual way of learning is that it brings up also new opportunities for the students to engage in science, such as traveling to other planets like Mars to learn about gravity in a completely new way, or new types of chemistry and chemical formulas and so forth. So we really work hard with top professors across the US to understand what are the topics that we want to teach the students, and then design learning experiences and gamified learning journeys where the students not just learn the concepts in science that they need to understand, but also why they're learning them and how they can apply that to solving real world challenges and problems, such as curing, for instance, coronavirus is literally some of the topics that we teach the students around antibodies or other types of methods for curing diseases. So
Which is
that's what
awesome,
we
yeah.
do. And yeah.
Let's because we want to talk about this partnership you have with California community colleges, but before we do that, people are sitting there going, okay, I can't see it, which we can show them, because they should be able to see it to really get the
Very
full
visual experience. Yeah.
expanse. So this is what a student would see when they would go,
Correct.
you put VR goggles on,
So it
or
actually it works on a laptop. So even a low-end laptop, and most students just play it on their laptop, and they go in this virtual gamified world, similar to as they're playing games. And we gotta get to the students at the level and of engagement and excitement that they're used to today. And that's where we provide, for instance, in this case, also opportunities for the students to experiment in typically learning, for instance, through failure, which is a very important thing in science. And typically, you cannot let students fail in a physical laboratory, but in these virtual worlds, we can really give the students unlimited access to all the equipment, $1 million equipment, so that they can learn science in a whole new way. And there you saw they were actually traveling to another planet to learn about ecology as well. And continually, we also see the benefits of virtual training, where the students can repeat experiments over and over until they really master the concepts. So we've done a number of research studies showing that the learning outcomes more than double when you use these online tools effectively, combined with follow-up teacher lectures. And we also see that students that typically would struggle in a normal traditional learning environment can actually follow up and catch up with the rest of the classroom better, typically because they can go at their own pace. We continuously quiz the students, make sure they understand the concepts before we kind of let them move on. So this more mastery-based learning approach.
and
So
they can
while
walk
it's
into any lab with any kind of problem solving thing that their teachers want them to address, or their professors, and so you have different types of labs for them to go
yeah,
into.
I mean, it's a very interesting. There's with virtual, there's literally only your imagination sort of sets the limit, and we look especially at areas where it's either very expensive or very time-consuming, or either dangerous to normally teach in physical laboratories. So that's actually been a driver for us for many years now, more than 10 years, and we have 110 people continuously working on designing these learning experiences around the topics where we can provide the biggest impact.
Yeah, I was watching
So
a TED talk that you did 4 years ago. So,
yeah, it's been
way
a
back
long
kind of
journey.
in the middle of your journey. And And I actually took note of this graph that you put up, and this is what you were talking
Exactly.
about with the learning impact, which I thought was so interesting.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things that, I mean, you're talking to someone who was a liberal arts student, so science and math, in terms of engaging and having this passion for it. And you talk about people who were um, maybe struggling through it and or just didn't have the understanding. It seems to me too that Labster comes to them kind of at the where they are in terms of the types of learning that they're comfortable with. I mean, if you take a look at video games, because I know that you said you integrated video game design into this
Mhm.
type of thing, that's what the kids do, right, in Minecraft, or in some of these other, they build these worlds and they are used to going into these spaces and
Mhm. Mhm.
creating. They're probably more comfortable in it than people in older generations, right?
Yeah, no, typically we see that. And we work very closely both with game designers and pedagogical experts, and of course scientists who are the experts on the topic. And we see it now as we launch this incredible partnership now with the California community colleges, which we're incredibly proud of, by the way, where we get to reach out to now more than 2 million students across California, as well as several local colleges now in Oakland. And we believe that this is an opportunity for teachers and college institutions also to advance their learning. While it's definitely very challenging times for them right
Mm-hmm.
now, moving everything online, it also provides opportunities. And we see that now as I speak with teachers every day, and we hear the feedback from the students where they see the excitement and engagement that the students have for their learning. That all really helps contribute to the learning outcomes that you saw in that study. And we've now we have 16 different peer-reviewed published studies documenting all these benefits of this virtual learning environment. So I'm proud of the work we've done. I'm incredibly proud of the partnership we have with the California community colleges, and I'm confident that we'll see a huge boost in the interest and the uh, opportunity in using these virtual learning environments in combination with physical as well.
Give
And
me
so,
more
yeah, this is
details about, yeah, how this partnership came into being, and specifically with California, in terms of their need, how you guys connected, and why that system really, in this timing, it seems like great
yeah.
timing.
I think we had early already partnership with several of the colleges and working really closely with several professors and teachers in the region. So we already had that interest. And when we started working closely with the system, we saw an incredible opportunity to collaborate together on serving the needs, because right now is an incredibly challenging time for teachers and students who are at home having exams, and they need the tools that so that they can continue their learning in these challenging times. And it was an obvious fit. It actually went incredibly fast. Within just a matter of weeks, we were able to roll out to more than 100 different colleges across California, train the teachers, which is also an important part of what we do. We
Mm-hmm.
really coach and support the teachers through the journey, and we have live support as well for the students. So really incredible partnership. It's really a win-win-win all around for everyone involved here, as I see it, and as we hear from the teachers and students as well. So yeah, incredible. And this, by the way, as you see here, is one of the examples of the teacher dashboards where the teachers,
Here,
we
I'll
like to
pause
say that we
that so we can look at that.
we
Yeah.
give the teachers a little bit of a superpower as well, where they get now insights into how every student is performing in these virtual learning environments. And they can really see in their classroom where are the students struggling the most, so that when the professors have the follow-up lectures, they can really focus down on the areas that benefit their classroom the most. So there's so many great benefits for online learning, and we see now how teachers really are, of course, obviously forced to explore this more, but also then experiencing and seeing those benefits in using these tools.
I mean, I know when you first started talking about virtual labs too, one of the things that you talked about was someone could do it virtually because it was safer, and
Mhm.
then go into an actual lab and do
Yeah,
it for real and see it
yeah.
in a real space. For these students, a couple of things occur to me. That one, these labs that they are going into virtually are probably much nicer than any lab they've actually
Yeah.
seen in
Mhm.
person for the general cost of it. How,
Mhm.
but virtually and the actual, real lab life, how different are they? Or are these just supposed to give you this, kind of scorecard to kind of get people to the concepts and get people to, what we know to be true? Or these are just actual experiments where we know the end game, and so we know we can really break down how they would change if someone did something in a different way.
I think so. So there's so much, in the virtual world, again, we can provide unlimited access. And I think that's really the key message here, that
Hmm.
every student everywhere should have $1 million laboratories. If it's already there, we have it, it's available. And it's more about really working with the individual systems and colleges and professors to
Yep.
show them and train them in using these tools. And as we saw there earlier, we can do that incredibly fast, roll it out quickly, give the students this training opportunity. And then once we go back to the physical laboratories again in the future, the students are prepared. Just like a flight simulator, you want to have the pilots do most of their training first in the safe virtual environments. And then once you have all the practical skills, the concepts mastered, then you're ready to go into the physical environment. And I believe we'll see a lot more of that going forward. There's so many benefits, and cost is also another important factor in all of this. A lot of colleges and students across the country are very challenged also from a cost perspective now.
Yep.
And this is an opportunity where you can actually virtualize learning and not compromise the learning quality, and still give them the students the opportunity to maybe at the end of their training do the physical hands-on training.
So
But we see,
how expensive is it for in this partnership for these colleges to tackle this and to take this on and to offer this for their students?
yeah, so really it can be as little as a few dollars, where we also offer to provide the training for the teachers, so a fraction at the cost of what a physical laboratory costs. And as a response to this COVID-19, we really realized that we as a company needed to step up and provide this access to as many teachers and students around the world. So we really provide this as heavy discounts, even below our own cost here at Labster. But we believe it's the right thing to do. This is about helping the students and the teachers at a time where they need it the most. And again, we're super proud about what we've been able to achieve, especially in this partnership with the California Community College System.
Yeah. Where does it go from here in terms of, the learning, the sharing, the technology, and how we really kind of reimagine education in general? I mean, I think we've had to do that just out of necessity.
Yeah.
And obviously you've been reimagining how we could do it for a decade. And I'm sure you're like, keep up, everyone. I've been here for a while.
Yeah.
But do you think it's going to change really, higher learning? Colleges in general right now, if we go into that college space, aren't
Yeah.
sure that they can put a bunch of people in a classroom anyway, and so, as we
No,
look at how it's going to change, where do you
it
see
will
this going?
definitely change. Yeah, and we already see it. We obviously speak with a lot of chancellors and professors and institutional leaders, and it is already kind of in motion. Every of the partners we work with are already planning for longer term shifts. And it's interesting also in the education space, it's actually one of the industries that are the least digitized in terms of digital versus non-digital content spend. And we are already seeing an acceleration of this. So we believe there will be a huge boost and trend towards more online learning. It will never replace the physical fully, but we see a great opportunity for working with more of these technology providers, and the collaboration between colleges, high schools, districts, working together to provide the best combination of digital and physical on-campus training is where I think we'll see, or we already see that big shift.
Have you always loved science?
I do, yes. And honestly, I'm so, our mission again is to empower the next generation of scientists to change the world. And we started this company to inspire students to go out and solve challenging problems, such as curing corona, COVID-19, or diseases like this. I think this is such a critical time for us as a nation, as a world, to inspire more students, give them the tools, the training they need to go out and help us solve all these challenging
do you think that was a challenge? I mean, the term science is cool was created to try to tell children specifically that science is cool, that you should like this, that you should want to be a part of it. And maybe there was a disconnect for a little while in trying to
I
get.
think so. But it turns out it's hard to make science engaging when you have a very limited budget. And this was actually what found initially myself and my co-founder, what made us start this, is because we realized that, teaching science physically with the equipment, it cost millions and millions of dollars. it's just not, it's not feasible to give the
Yeah.
students the level of experience that they would expect. But virtual online gives us that opportunity to solve that need, engage the students, empower the teachers with the superpowers. So there's so many great benefits of the virtual environment in these cases.
Have you found that there is, a certain, um, format that works? I mean, you talk about how this could be on a very
Yeah,
simple, um, you know, computer or a laptop, one that's not that fancy, so that
yeah,
certainly works well for people. But in the TED talk I was telling you I was watching, from 2016, when
yeah.
you came out, you were also, let's see if it'll pop up and behave for me. There you are. You had it as, VR goggles attached to your phone. Do you feel like that maybe is where it's still going to be used a lot, or do you think that the accessibility maybe changes it to be a place where you want it to be on
Mhm.
the, that old laptop that you borrowed from somebody because that's all you could get, but you still want access to technology?
Yeah, I think access again is the key word here. This is about providing students anywhere, anytime with the quality education they deserve. And we realized hardware is a big barrier. It can be expensive to buy hardware. So we focus a lot on supporting even low-end laptops like Chromebooks,
Hmm.
and have our very advanced. It simulates chemistry down to molecular level and how reactions are actually happening in these virtual environments. So we really worked hard to ensure access for anyone, anywhere. But for those students who want that even more immersive experience, you can also optionally choose the VR experience that you saw there. For a few, I believe it's around $300-400 right now. You can literally step into the virtual environment, and we've done research studies showing that further advances, especially memory retention and understanding of procedural skills. So there are definitely benefits to it. But I want to be clear, it's not necessary. You don't need
Yeah.
the virtual reality headset. A laptop is completely fine. You get 90% or so of the benefits from that, which is already, a huge win compared
Yes.
even to physical
But
laptops.
I think parents would be pretty excited if they walked in and asked their kid, "What are you doing?" and they had VR goggles on,
You're
and
on
like,
Mars learning about
yes,
science.
I'm in the lab, mom. Back off. Like that's what I'm
Exactly.
doing.
I'm learning. Good.
I'm learning. This is called class. So I think that's fantastic. So is this partnership just one of, I think it's like anything, right? One
Yeah,
person sees someone doing it effectively. Everyone
yeah.
wants to offer their students, either competitively or just because in the academic hunt, we're all trying to
No, I think
improve and
we're
make this
seeing
next smartest
incredible
generation.
incredible interest at the moment, and we again as a company want to help as much as we can, and so we are already in contact with several other district leaders and systems, and we'll be rolling it out further here in the coming weeks. Yeah, and again, we are ready. We've been preparing for this moment, I feel like,
You've
for
been
years,
waiting for
and
everyone else to just climb on board the ship. Those colleges, so if California community college students are watching and saying, okay, so is this in my class? Could this be in my class right now? Is this for the fall? Is this for the summer? I mean, this partnership is great, but how long does it take for it to roll out in real time for students to actually see that in
yeah,
their
we
space?
we we most professors already, even leading up to the exams, has already implemented it in a matter of days. So it can actually be done in as little as one day, getting it up and
Wow.
running. We help them map the curriculum, the simulations to their curriculum, so it can be done incredibly fast. And so many of the courses already running with it live now, and we'll be rolling out many more over the summer, and then the next semester coming as well. So any student I would expect in any science class would see some degree of Labster implemented into their courses.
And is there anyone who you think struggles more than, I mean, is it the professors who are having the biggest hurdle? Is it students who, I mean, I think young people are very, very tech savvy,
I think
but
it's
certainly you have other students who are maybe
It's
not
an interesting
wanting.
question. The teachers definitely often struggling with the overwhelm of amount of things you have to suddenly do to move everything online, which
Mhm.
is very overwhelming. And we help a lot with that by automating and standardizing it, and even doing it in some cases for the teachers. I think many students struggle in a different way, but more with the engagement and motivational level, because it's very hard to be at home every day and keep staying engaged and learning. And again, I think that's where we often get complaints from teachers that once they start using Labster in their classroom settings, typically they can't get the students out of class because they want to finish off their missions and so on. So we believe that we can help in both cases.
And then is it college students, or with the high school kids, do you find the different
Yeah.
iterations for the different age groups?
No, we definitely college, high school, K to 12. We help across the board, and especially right now we also see a huge boost in within high schools as well. So high school science is incredible. Uh, you know, tens of thousands of teachers signing up just in the last few days, and we're proud again to be able to service it. And we actually have a free COVID offering that right now that we're providing to high school, so they can go in right now and sign up and be up and running the same day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so there's really an incredible opportunity to use this challenging time to advance learning in new ways, in different ways. And I think it will benefit both teachers and students around the world.
Well, I think there are a ton of young people, especially who, as they consider their careers and what they want to go into and how they're going to change the world and leave their impact on the world. Certainly the COVID crisis has impacted them, and we may have more scientists than we ever thought, hopefully helping make the world a better place. Yeah. We do. All right, Michael Jensen, the founder and the CEO of Labster. Very, very interesting. I really appreciate the talk.
Thank you so much, Claudine. Have a great day.
You too.